All right, now we're going to learn about what to eat to achieve your dream body. First, let's talk about micronutrients. Micronutrients are elements that our body requires to function in small amounts. These are typically vitamins and minerals. Your body needs adequate amounts of certain vitamins and minerals, and it's helpful to know that they are usually available in greater amounts in minimally processed food. A processed food is any type of food that undergoes some type of alteration before you eat it. Think cakes, cookies, crackers. Processed foods are typically made with added sugar and fats, and the ingredients are frequently stripped of many of their naturally occurring micronutrients through processing. Minimally processed foods are foods that have undergone minimal processing. Examples are fresh, frozen, or canned fruits and vegetables, raw meat, brown rice, whole wheat flour, quinoa, etc. Minimally processed foods usually contain a higher amount of naturally occurring micronutrients. Think of processing as a continuum, where more processed generally means less healthy and less processed generally means more healthy. For example, fresh fruit is usually healthier than canned fruit, which is slightly more processed, and both are healthier than packaged crackers, which is the most processed. It is possible to be malnourished even when eating too many calories if you're not eating enough vitamins and minerals. So eating food that contains a wide variety of micronutrients is important. Although I do encourage taking a quality multivitamin to ensure that you are getting the right amount of micronutrients, it's also important that you eat micronutrient-rich foods. This is because whole foods contain a more holistic combination of enzymes, cofactors, vitamins, and minerals that may be better absorbed by the body. It is still unclear how well the synthetic nutrients found in supplements are absorbed by the body. Theoretically, you could eat a diet of mostly Twinkies, as one nutrition professor did, and lose weight, but you are also putting yourself at risk for nutrient deficiency, which can lead to all kinds of other debilitating effects. With that said, unless you have a particular vitamin or mineral deficiency or disease, I wouldn't obsess about hitting the right amount of vitamins and minerals each day. Just do your best to eat a wide variety of minimally processed foods and take a multivitamin to help patch any nutritional holes. I also recommend getting blood work done by your doctor once a year. They can test for certain vitamin and mineral deficiencies. Now let's talk about macronutrients. Macronutrients are nutrients that are required in large amounts by the body and generally also provide energy, aka calories. The body's three main sources of macronutrients are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. As I discussed earlier, weight loss and gain and therefore body transformation is mostly about calories in versus calories out. But the types of energy we use as fuel also matters to some extent. First, it's important to understand that macronutrients contain different amounts of energy per gram. Carbohydrates and protein contain about 4 calories per gram, while fat contains about 9 calories per gram. That means a pound of olive oil, from which approximately 100% of calories are from fat, has about twice as many calories as a pound of sugar, from which 100% of the calories are from carbohydrates. Your body's fullness signals are at least partly triggered by the amount of food in your stomach. Thus, eating more carbohydrates and proteins than fat will help you stay fuller longer on fewer calories. So how do you budget calories amongst protein, fat, and carbohydrates? According to the Institute of Medicine, acceptable macronutrient distribution ranges for adults as a percentage of calories are as follows. For protein, they recommend 10 to 35% of your calories come from protein, fat, 20 to 35% of your calories, carbohydrates, 45 to 65% of your calories. Fiber recommendation for females aged 19 to 50 is 25 grams per day. Working within this framework, I tend to recommend a high protein, relatively low fat, and carbohydrate diet. One of the things I want you to take away from this challenge is not to be afraid of any food group. Your body needs fat, carbs, and protein. However, I find that maximizing the amount of protein you eat has many benefits when it comes to achieving your physique goals. Firstly, while extra calories from carbohydrates and fat can be stored in the body as glycogen or fat, proteins are not readily stored. Proteins are usually only used by the body to repair or build tissue. Thus, it appears that it would be hard to gain fat if you're only eating a surplus of protein. Protein consumption is also generally associated with higher levels of satiety than fat or carbohydrate consumption. The more satisfied you feel, the more likely you are to stick with healthy eating habits. In addition, eating protein increases thermogenesis. Think of this as your metabolism. Eating more protein requires your body to burn more calories just to digest it. And finally, eating protein helps build or maintain muscle mass. As you will learn, this is also important in stoking your metabolism and creating your dream body. With the ratio of protein maximized, the other two ratios will fall to their lowest recommended levels. Therefore, I recommend a macro ratio of 45% carbohydrates, 20% fat, and 35% protein. Using these guidelines, let's calculate how many grams of each macronutrient you should eat to achieve your goal. We do this by calculating how many calories from each new macronutrient you should be eating and then converting it into grams. I have an easy and free calculator on my website at valerieweese.com/macro-calculator. And again, the link is in the worksheet. I also have the formulas listed on the worksheet if you'd rather do it on paper. For example, if your target level of calories is 2,000 per day, your calculations would look like this. 20% of 2,000 divided by 9 calories per gram for fat is 44.44 grams. For protein, 2,000 calories times 35% divided by 4 calories per gram is 175 grams. For carbohydrates, 2,000 calories times 45% divided by 4 calories per gram is 225 grams. Beyond keeping track of your macros, there are certain principles that will help you get the most bang for your caloric buck. As I mentioned earlier, eating minimally processed foods will help you get the micronutrients you need, but it will also help you stay fuller longer. Have you heard of the concept of nutrient density? A nutrient-dense food is a food that has a low calorie to volume ratio. That means that you can eat more of the food for fewer calories. Minimally processed foods tend to be more nutrient-dense. An example of a relatively nutrient-dense food would be grapes. Grapes have a lot of fiber, water, vitamins, and minerals, and relatively few calories per ounce. A pound of grapes has about 300 calories. In contrast, olive oil is not very nutrient-dense. 1 pound of olive oil has about 4,000 calories. Yep, that's right. Olive oil has more than 10 times the number of calories per pound than grapes do. So if you were to eat the same amount of calories from either olive oil or grapes, what do you think would make you feel more satisfied? Probably the grapes, right? Because you can eat a larger volume. Each time you eat something, you are making a choice on how to fuel your body, how satisfied you will be, and thus how it will make you feel. Those 3 factors have a big impact on your ability to stick to healthy lifestyle changes. This is another reason why just focusing on the amount of calories you are eating while ignoring the quality of food you are eating may not lead to success. If you're eating only junk food, chances are you will not feel as satisfied because junk food is usually less nutrient dense than healthy food. This could ultimately cause you to abandon your calorie target. To be successful on your journey to your dream body, you need to be savvy when it comes to what you're eating. Make intentional swaps. For example, 1 slice of bread from one brand may have 80 calories per slice, while another brand slice has only 45 calories. Could you be satisfied with the slice that has fewer calories? Notice the difference in nutrition between similar products and make educated choices. The calories you save will add up fast. But remember, you can still choose the higher calorie option when you feel like it's worth it, or if it's healthier in other ways. For example, if it has no trans fat or no highly processed carbohydrates, etc. When it comes to selecting what you eat, it may also be wise to limit your sugar intake. Sugar increases dopamine in your brain, just like a drug. Your body also begins to build a tolerance to this effect, so it will crave more and more sugar to get the same effect. This encourages dependence, which makes regulating calories difficult. The biological and neurological processing of sugars as a reward is strong and can make sugar consumption habitual and difficult to control. In addition, people who try to give up sugar often experience withdrawal-like symptoms, cravings, fatigue, headaches, irritability. As if that weren't enough, sugar consumption is also linked to other diseases like heart disease, cancer, acne, and depression, just to name a few. Sugar primes your body to gain weight, accumulate disease, and feel bad. Plus, it becomes habitual because of its addictive qualities. So although I don't think any food should be totally off limits, and I certainly do have a sweet tooth, I strongly recommend limiting your sugar intake. The American Heart Association recommends a limit of 25 grams of added sugar per day. Too much sugar sets you up for cravings, binges, mood swings, and disease. Just like sugar, alcohol is another category you'll want to limit or eliminate. Alcohol contains 7 calories per gram, more than carbohydrates and protein. In addition, your body does not process satiety from drinks in the same way it does food, so calories from alcohol are less likely to leave you feeling satisfied. In addition, according to one study, alcohol suppresses the body's ability to burn fat. Not to mention that drinking alcohol can lead to bloating and lethargy, which may derail your exercise progress. Although it's okay to indulge in an occasional drink and budgeting your calories can allow for this, cutting out alcohol from your diet is an easy way to kickstart your body transformation. Finally, make sure you're getting enough water. Thirst is often misinterpreted as hunger. This can cause us to eat more calories than we need, while still not addressing our dehydration. I recommend drinking a tall glass of water before eating each meal. This is especially helpful at restaurants where waiters tend to fill your glass with water before the meal even starts. Drinking the glass of water will help curb your appetite and ensure that you are not eating to stave off thirst. There has also been research to show that water aids in the removal of fat byproducts and can improve your metabolism. There is so much more to learn about nutrition, but you've just learned the basics. If you are interested in learning more, let me know. I have a future course planned. In our next video, we'll talk about how to create your own custom meal plan. So see you there.